how do you think President Joe Biden is doing in his first 6 months?
Well, I think
Your
that,
honest opinion.
yes. Well, I think that we're seeing the impact of closing our economy last year. This is what we're seeing because we forced businesses to close due to COVID-19. So I think that we're starting to see the impact of that.
Yeah.
And yes, businesses are reopening, but now they're having difficulty finding people to work. There's so many restaurants that I know, or business owners that I know, that they can't find people to come and work. And I know there's plenty of people unemployed, so I don't understand why they're having such difficulty.
But why do you think that is?
Well, it could be because they're unemployment. If they want to finish their unemployment before they get out and work. If they're getting unemployment, why would they go to work?
Yeah.
Back in our days, it was different. I don't know about you, but me, it was like, I didn't want to be in unemployment. I wanted to get a job. So if you were unemployed, you would be forced to go and get signatures from your manager, the manager. I think that there was more accountability.
Don't you think, though?
And now there isn't.
Yeah, but don't you think, though, that back in the day, the economy was just structured differently?
Yeah.
In other words, we've entered what's known as a gig economy, right, where workers are getting the shaft. And it's been the same through Republican administrations, through Democratic administrations. People just aren't making enough to have a dignified living. People are working 2-3 jobs sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to be able to make ends meet.
Right, because everything's gone so expensive.
Right. And then so COVID happens, right? And people are forced to stay home. And they realize now, well, look, I'm here with my kids, right? Life actually isn't so bad at home. There was a study that said that the majority of people that weren't going back into the workforce were women, right? But it's because they actually enjoyed being home.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think we need more of that.
Yeah.
Definitely. But we need the
workers.
We need the workers, or we need their husbands, or the head of household to be working and taking care of the family.
At the same time, and I want to get your opinion on this. Because what really irks me is when we always blame the workers, right? We always blame our neighbors in the sense that, well, they're lazy, they just don't want to work, they're on unemployment, and we never put the blame on the people on the corporations who pay them pennies, or the corporations who've been profiting off of their labor for years. And Americans, and in the last decade, have been the most productive that they've ever been. Yeah. Yet they're taking home just a tiny piece of the pie, while CEOs and while these corporate leaders are taking home more than the largest share of profit that we've ever seen, that they've ever seen.
I agree.
And we also live in a time where Amazon doesn't even pay taxes, or a lot of these corporations don't even pay taxes, and that's just not a Republican thing. The only one thing that we can find consensus on between Democrats and Republicans is the fact that they don't want to tax the rich anymore.
Is it true that I saw Amazon pushing for the minimum wage to be increased as well?
Yeah, but they have other motives.
Yeah, exactly. Because they want to destroy the small business that can't afford it. That's why. That's why they're pushing. I'm like, if you want to, how about you start paying taxes?
You see, but so that's where I think the government does have a role, right? So if we do decide as a country, and I think we should, this is just my opinion, that we're going to lift the minimum wage, like they did in Florida. That's I told you about that. That
right.
One of the I guess you can call it one of the Trump effects is that the parties really don't have solid positions anymore. We're a lot more fluid now, right? Republicans are more open to raising the minimum wage, like they were in Florida. Florida voted for Trump, but they also voted to increase the minimum wage to $15.
Yeah, they did. I'm just worried about the small business. Those are the ones that worry me, because I've spoken with so many that tell me we wouldn't be able to afford it.
Right. No,
So
that's understandable.
that's my concern. It's those big corporations that can, great, but what about the little people? You know,
Right. But see, then
those are the ones that concern me, because I've spoken with every single small business owner, which is here in the valley. Not all of them, of course, but a good handful, and they all tell me we wouldn't be able to afford it. So that's what concerns me, because they would stay open, and the little business would close, and then they would get all the business. So that's why it benefits them to increase the minimum wage, because the little guys would get killed.
Which is why Amazon pushes for it.
Right.
See, but like what never gets talked about in that conversation is the fact that it is possible for the government to say, look, if you're a corporation making this amount of money, you have to pay your employees this much. If you're a small business owner that pays this much, you don't have to, or you do, but we'll subsidize it for you.
Right.
It's just to help you out, right? So people get a leg up.
It's definitely a conversation we could definitely, have and open to have as well. Yeah, definitely. It is something to look into for sure.